Hi guys, Dan Holton from GuitarLessonCentral.com, and I'm here just answering more questions. And this one comes in from someone called James Goldman from New York. And he says, "Hi Dan, my buddy Richard just bought a compressor pedal for when he plays live shows. He claims it really helps his sound, but I can't hear any difference at all and don't even know when the pedal is on or off. So, what does it do? What is it for? And why can't I hear anything?" Okay, James, right, not a problem. These compressor pedals can do a whole bunch of things. I've actually got one sitting down here right now. I've got something called a Rodwell Love Squeeze. So awesome yellow compressor pedal. And do you know what? It's one of those things, it can be very subtle. It can also be very unsubtle. And it's a must-have for any pedal board for a live gigging musician, in my opinion. So, right then, what the compressor pedal does is it basically levels things out. Okay, that's one way I like to look at it, okay? And I'm going to give you two examples of how it works for two different types of music. Now, the way I use my compressor pedal is actually in a funk setting, okay? And what I like is, I'm going to turn it off for a second because it's on all the time, constantly on my pedal board. And I do lots of parts like this. So I exchange between this kind of groove something like that, you know, just kind of a little kind of picky kind of Michael Jackson style kind of groove, and big chords. So then, you know, and without my compressor pedal, I'm way too loud at the moment. But what's happening is live, I want both of those parts to be the same volume. That's how I feel, okay? Because that kind of little groove thing needs to be at a good level, and naturally, because I can't hit that as hard as I can strummed chords, because I'm doing little picky picks, you know, it's gonna be quieter, okay? And then when I go to play the chords, suddenly I'm going through the roof and the sound guy is having a heart attack because it's so loud and cutting, okay? Bring in the compressor pedal. So, I put the compression on, okay? And what this compressor does for this context is it actually brings up the kind of quieter and brings down the louder, and basically kind of sets them all on one level. So it on a really kind of basic term, which is how I like to think, because I don't understand the science at all. You know, the peaks come down and the lows go up, so that you've got basically a flat sound. Now, some people hate it because of that exact reason. You get a flatter sound. So suddenly, now I've got my compressor. I'm going to turn the compressor, you know, really on there. Let me just grab. So this is on a pretty, you know, it's kind of about here on the dial. And suddenly now, if I play the same thing I just played, so here's the kind of groove. I'm still hitting it nice and light, but the compressor is actually bringing it up for me, so I'm doing less of the work. When I go into my chords, that has gone down. I'm hitting that as hard as I was before, but these peaks have gone. The compressor has flattened the sound, okay? So that's one way, and that's how I like to use the compressor, just basically as a kind of self-controlling thing to make it easier for any kind of sound man who's kind of looking to kind of get a nice balance and a good mix for the band. A lot of rock guys and metal guys will use it for the same purpose, but it can also help with sustain. You know, if you're playing a note for a very long time and you're looking to kind of... The compressor, because it's kind of equaled it all up and kind of flattened it all out, you get a kind of long, kind of sustained kind of sound. And, you know, but the same idea. So, you know, if you're kind of riffing it up, you've got a very good level kind of flat sound. So there's no kind of massive peaks when you accent something really hard, and there's no kind of troughs when you just, you know, slightly, you know, you don't want those kind of troughs. Now, if you're playing the blues, like I play a lot, that's when I turn my compressor right down, because that's when I want that kind of dynamic range. I want to be able to be playing, so here I've turned the compressor off now, and I want to be playing really subtle, and then be able to kind of hit someone hard like that kind of thing. So you know, that's what a compressor does, and that's why I think it's a pretty much a must-have for any pedal board, in my opinion. So hopefully that helps, and it will be good. If you've got any more questions, please, you know, send them in, and I might be able to suggest some compressor pedals. Like I said, I use the Rothwell Love Squeeze. There's ones by Boss, by I think it's MXR, and for me, the simpler they are, the better. Okay, mine's got 2 dials, volume, compression. Simple as that. I don't like to get too confused by my pedals, so that makes me happy. And yeah, go back to that gig, watch your mate play, and then see if you can spot it then.